blogger and creator of the blog Miss Right Says, as well as OMG OBGYN. I wanted to introduce all of our panelists, and then each one of them are going to give a little bit more background about who they are and what they do. So to my immediate right, I have Miss Salena Collins.
Hi.
Selena is the owner and founder of Clear Gardens Yoga Studio. I have Dr. Lisa Upshaw, and many of you know her probably already as Dr. Lisa. And Dr. Lisa is a chiropractor as well as a holistic health practitioner who specializes in acupuncture and functional nutrition, something that I think we all definitely need. To her right is Dr. Melissa Natavio, and she is the Director of Family Planning Fellowship, and she's also an Assistant Professor for the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the Keck School of Medicine at USC. And last but not least, we have Ms. Lauren Cornell, and Lauren is a registered dietitian. For women who are starting to experience menopause, which we all know is a part of aging, and I remember when I got my period, I was 9 years old. All the women in our family get them early, and they stay until we die. Like most of the women in my family don't go through menopause until they're 65. And I remember saying, I can't wait until I go through menopause, because I hated my period as a little kid. But clearly that was a very immature way of thinking about it. And even though I think our periods are certainly painful and very frustrating to have, we wouldn't be able to conceive without them. And I think for a lot of women who are starting to go through menopause, they know that things are going to change drastically with their bodies. But I think a lot of women don't know what to expect. And I wanted to ask you two questions. What are some of those things that we should look to expect as women who started to age and go through menopause? And then with some of the symptoms that people are experiencing with menopause, are there some alternative treatments that can help with hot flashes, which we all know about, but what are some other ailments that maybe are a result of menopause that we should plan for?
When I first started in practice, I had a bunch of women, for some reason, that were going through menopause. It was an interesting thing, because I was in my late 20s, but I was just drawing in all of these women that were hot all the time. That was what they say, I'm just hot. Yes, around, as early as 43 for some, and then as you get further into your 40s, closer to 50, then you could be a candidate to start experiencing early signs of what it would actually be perimenopause. But menopause is when you actually stop your cycle. And so some of the most common symptoms, as you may know, are hot flashes, also vaginal dryness, some mood changes as well, some changes in skin, texture, and also some challenges with weight loss. And so from, again, a holistic standpoint, one thing that I think is really important is, let me go back. Let me say, one thing that I've noticed is when these symptoms start happening in women, it usually correlates when kids are like in high school and getting ready to leave the house, or there may be, this realization about a partner where it's like, oh, this is who I've been married to. And all of those things, in addition with the hormones going through this change, all of those things that have gone on in life for the last 15, 20 years start to come to the forefront. And then it's like, oh, this is the reality of my child leaving the home, or this is the reality of my partner, or this is the reality about my job. And so from a holistic standpoint, it's an opportunity to really reevaluate life. It's sort of like that, when men go through the midlife crisis and they go out and buy a red sports car, it's sort of like women are kind of like set up for that in the way that you have like a spotlight on the issues that are causing you massive irritation. And so it's important to really evaluate life and look and see, am I happy with this? Would I make changes in my current course? Am I happy with my relationships? On a more sort of like invasive standpoint in terms of managing the symptoms, definitely some dietary changes, which you may want to talk about as well. And yoga is a really great practice as well, just to find ways to promote more balance in your life. There's something in Chinese medicine called the yin. Are you familiar with yin and yang? You've heard that before, maybe in Tai Chi, or you've seen the symbol. So in Chinese medicine, as women age, we lose yin. It's just something that happens. There's no way really around it. Some you lose it at a quicker pace than others. And so one thing that you can do is to promote yin. You can't really keep it from leaving, but you can at least slow it down and really sort of like nourish what you have. What goes into that is stress relief, really just setting up your life so that you have more balance in general. And then not being so much in your yang energy. And when I say yang energy, that would be someone who is always on the go, always doing, always moving, taking care of everything and everyone else before themselves, and being more active than stepping back and taking time to just be and enjoy life. Stop and smell the flowers, allow some help to come in, find ways to invite or ask for balance in your life. In terms of supplements and herbs and things like that, many people hear of black cohosh. There's another one slipping my mind. And for that, I say that you have to be really specific. It's hard to say that what works for one person will work for someone else. And you want to be careful about throwing off your hormones too far in another direction. So I have some Chinese medicine food recommendations, but I'd like to see if you have some as well. But foods that nourish the yin, green vegetables, things like mung beans, really in general fruits and vegetables, and foods that are more on the anti-inflammatory diet are what nourish the yin. So if you stick to that type of eating regimen, you'll help to preserve your yin and start to reduce some of the heat symptoms that you may experience during menopause or perimenopause.
While going through menopause, a specific yoga practice that you do want to look into will be restorative. Restorative yoga is known to definitely cool the body down, and it's been studies that have shown that it is really good for women that are going through menopause.
Can we give them all a round of applause? This event is, I guess you could say, a creation of mine because probably like all of you, I've had questions since I started visiting my OBGYN, and those questions have grown progressively as I've matured and had various experiences, and then hear stories from women of all different ages. And I found myself sometimes when I would experience something, I'd go online, like we all probably shouldn't, go to WebMD, and I'd look up something because I couldn't get a doctor's appointment right away, and so I'd say, oh my God, I have that. Or I find all of these forums of women very frustrated, not knowing how they could maybe treat certain things at home, or questions that maybe a lot of us have. And so I really wanted this day to be about conversation, about sisterhood and sharing, and lastly, letting you know that you're not alone. Because I think so many times we suffer in silence and we think, oh my God, I'm the only person that's going through what I'm going through. And I think it's safe to say with the number of people who've signed up for this event, it's a need, and women want to know more about what's happening with their overall health.